Okay, I'm live. Welcome to Sony NAB Live for a 4 p.m. show, all about the Sony Journalism Backpack. And before we get into it, we're going to go to a videotape to kind of describe and show you what it's all about. Why don't you roll the video? Okay, so let me introduce our speakers for today. To my left, we have Peter Delorio, Senior Marketing Manager, Sony System Solutions Group. And to his left, we have Andy Munitz, National Training Manager and Professional Audio Products Manager, Sony Professional Solutions. Welcome.
Hi there, thank you.
Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody here in the audience, we are taking questions. So if anybody has a question, please raise your hand. We can get a mic out to you. Also, if people are watching, use Twitter, tweet Sony NAB hashtag with your questions and comments. And the best question and comment also has a chance to win a Sony Action Cam. Wow. And we'll be telling you about that a little later. Cool. So let's get right into it. And the video you just saw was, we have a model here standing up here, the Sony Journalism Backpack. And let me get to the first question here. Sure. Let's talk about compromise between cost and features, because this is a fairly new product. I don't know who wants to take that.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. Cost and features, I mean, the lines between camera technology and broadcast quality, I think all of those things have been kind of blurring over the last few years. With the quality of Sony's imager technology, we can put incredibly high quality into a very small camera. But certainly as you go up in formats and different applications, it improves. But the lower end cameras are so good these days, it's really amazing. And so the features and cost, the ratio is just so much more valuable these days. I think that's maybe an easy way to put it.
And I'm going to add a little bit something to it. So we started out, talking specifically about cost versus function, we started out with the smallest kit, which you guys see here on the stage, and it's got the NX30 camera, which is a terrific camera. But the truth is, when you want to get a little bit more professional, obviously you want to go with higher end cameras. So we've actually created a series of kits. So while this one has the NX30 camera in it, we've got kits that include the PMW 100 camera, a kit that includes PMW 200 camera. We're rolling out a kit for the PMW 300 camera, and I think we're also rolling out a kit for the PMW, the NX5 camera. So we're trying to cover the gamut, and again, it's all about you can. I think somebody once said that a mouse to military spec is an elephant, right? So we really try to, not go overboard with the most expensive components. So we're balancing the quality again and trying to keep that cost down, because typically in backpack journalism, that cost is definitely an issue. So.
Speaking of backpack journalism, who were these backpacks designed for primarily?
Well, actually, there were two groups who reached out to us. As you mentioned earlier, I'm with the System Solutions Group, and we build stuff. We build control rooms, we build full-blown systems. And one of the things that we also do, obviously, is we put together these kinds of packages with Sony and third-party product. And so we've got our customers asking us for things along the way, and a university, a combination of university and a small broadcaster came to us with a desire to have a package put together. We worked with them, we took their ideas and what they thought needed to be in the bag, we added our own concepts, we proved that it all worked together, because it's not just simply, throwing a battery, throwing a light. I mean, it all actually, once you put it all together, it has to work. And we took that information and then we rolled out the product.
Anything to add to that?
I would simply add that one of my roles is a training manager. So what I do an awful lot is capture presentations. Lots and lots of product managers, marketing managers presenting technology, and I capture it so that I can then, distribute it to a wider audience. And I, for many years, have just been very interested in using the tools that were maybe the most compact, easiest to haul around, get me to a location, set up quickly, capture the event, both audio and video, bring it back, and at a desktop level, put it all together and very quickly and efficiently get it out there. That was the point. So I personally had a great interest in this project because I saw they were trying to put together the kind of things that I had been putting together myself for years. That's simple.
Can you talk about who they were? I mean, I'm sorry. What companies or who's using the product right now?
Oh wow, there's a bunch of them. Are we allowed to say that? I think we are. There's been a lot sold through our resellers. Some of the end users we don't know. There's been a number of schools. But actually the original idea came from Washington State University. And we've sold quite a lot to the Gray Station group. There's a whole series of stations. So those have been actually our biggest customers. And then there are a number of small independent stations as well.
Can you talk a little bit about buying a solution versus building it yourself? I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but that difference, because it sounds, this is kind of like putting it all together one pack. We don't really have to think about it.
Right.
Versus in the old days, we had to kind of get everything yourself, put it together. Can you talk to that?
That's exactly right. I've been with Sony for a number of years, and I've been trying to do this kind of level of production for many, many years. And I have, over that time, collected little pieces of gear that I've found that work together, that again are small, that I could hop on a plane and go and set up quickly and not haul around big giant road cases full of stuff. But over the years I have found this is a great piece, that's a great piece, this is a great piece, this fits that problem, or it solves that problem. So it's with experience. Now if you, and we've tried to put that experience and that knowledge into the way we design these packages. If somebody is tasked with learning to speak the language of video and start creating their own videos, then they have to go through that learning process, and it can be almost a little painful. You're not exactly sure what you need, but what we're offering is many things, not only all the pieces that work together, but we're offering support and help in how to use the thing and questions that might come up. This is all critical to a happy customer and a happy solution.
Peter, anything?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I think lots of people can put, and they have put together this type of package on their own. But if you are faced with let's say you have to build 10, you're going to build 10. I don't know about you guys, but when I buy stuff from a store and I come home and there's a bunch of boxes, all right? So let's say you get 10 copies of everything. You now have to, this is going to sound silly, but now you've got to unpack all that stuff. You've got to organize it. You've got to figure out where it's got to go. And actually, to your point, hopefully it all works together. It's actually, I guess if you have slave labor, that's good, but it could really be, dealing with all that stuff is a pain in the neck, and quite frankly, we take that off your hands, off our customers' hands.
Excellent. Now, I know we talked a lot about assembling everything in one package. What do one of these things include? What are some of the components that is included in this backpack here?
Well, I mean, do you want to go with that one?
Sure. I mean, obviously the central piece is the camera, and the camera's got to make sense for your particular application. And again, we offer packages with various ranges of cameras. But a camera is not the only solution. There's a lot of things that are required in terms of support gear to make a fully professional production. And if you don't use those tools, a viewer will automatically recognize, this kind of looks like a home video. It doesn't have everything that makes it look professional. For me, a lot of the things that make it a difference is audio. If you don't have the right audio tools, if the microphone is on the camera and it's 8 feet away from the person that's on camera, it sounds horrible. So you need good quality audio. You have to be able to control the audio. We have both wired and wireless microphones. We have lavaliers, we have handheld, we have all that kind of stuff. We give you headphones so that you can monitor and make sure you're getting clean signals. So then another important thing is lights. I mean, if you just show up and you have no light to throw on talent or a product or whatever it is you're trying to look at, it's going to look dark and dingy. You need to make your video pop. So that was something that we thought it was very important to include. We also realized that, and I knew this, from many years going around and interviewing our own product and marketing managers that some people just can't talk off the cuff, or they get a little nervous on camera. So having a teleprompter with a pre-written script really moves things right along. They don't go, oh, can I say that again? Can I say that again? Can I say that again? And then they change a little bit every time, and then when you go in to edit it all together, there's no places to cut because it's all different flows. But if it's a script, and they get, confident reading it 1 or 2 times, you got it. It's in the can and it's done. So having a teleprompter solution was very important. And if you think about it, our kits are not necessarily just intended for broadcasters. They're intended for corporate use, school, house of worship, people that are not professional broadcasters and are maybe already a little nervous about getting on camera. So having a teleprompter really makes it much more of a comfortable thing. So in addition, you need a good tripod. You got to have something with a fluid head. If you have a remote control capability, if you're a school and you're doing sports and you're following action or a stage thing, that's also useful. And certainly you need, all of the cables and chargers and media and every
Batteries.
little piece of accessory that goes along. Because without one little piece, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I like. This happens to be mine, and when I first got it, I was amazed that everything was in there. All little, like you mentioned, all little cables. The batteries were in there. Double A's for the microphone.
Lens cleaning kit.
Lens
Can't
cleaning
forget the lens
kit,
cleaning
right.
kit.
Comes with the stick mic. Comes with a wireless lavalier mic. Very easy to operate. I
Cable.
love the teleprompter. It has the Xperia tablet. Very lightweight stand.
Waterproof.
Waterproof.
We mentioned
The
waterproof.
LED light. The shotgun mic. It's a great piece of technology there, and also the headphones as well. Pro Sony headphones as well.
And they
So
pack up really nicely and
It
small.
does.
They kind of
you know
collapse.
what I
Plastic
like
stuff.
also
headphones.
is the backpack that you use here. You can get it from the front, but the side panels here open up so you can get right to everything you need right from the side.
That was actually very important to us. Very often backpacks just are compartmentalized, right? And things can move around, but these are zippered compartments both on the inside and the outside. So there was care taken in selecting the bits and pieces.
Absolutely. Anybody out in the audience here have a question for Peter or for Andy? Right here, second row.
My name is Abdil Ortiz. I'm from the Kingdom Life University in Tampa, Florida. One of the questions I have is in putting a customized kit together, for example, things that are not necessarily related to the field, but it may be things that we may use on several situations. Like, for example, intercom, availability for coordinating communications between 3 cameras or 3 people in the field.
Okay. Well, when you're getting into the scenario of a multi-camera shoot and intercom, then I think you're at a different level than this kit is maybe intended for. We loosely refer to this as a journalist backpack, but it's not purely for journalism. There's so many different markets that could take advantage. We are largely at this show professional broadcasters. Everybody kind of understands the language of video, and a lot of what is in this package is common knowledge. And these tools are great for those, small, mid-market TV stations, even large market TV stations. But there's so many more people, I'm sorry if it sounds like a little bit of a soapbox, but think of our children. The language of video is common. Everybody knows how to watch TV, but not that many people know how to make TV and make video. So I personally think that kids can easily learn the language of how to make videos. So K through 12, I think, is perfect for this backpack. A school could get it, and I think kids as young as 2nd and 3rd grade could all huddle around, each take a separate job, and they could be making videos and learning the tools and the language. Somebody in a corporate environment, instead of, I apologize if any of you have production companies that maybe work with corporate clients, but a corporation might eventually say, hey, we'd like to bring some corporate video work in-house. Let's go get the tools to do that and try it ourselves. So they need to know that not only are the tools they're getting high enough quality to get their message out in the style they'd like it, but they need to know that there are training materials to help them to use it, support people that they can call up when they have questions, simple questions, difficult questions, whatever it turns out to be. And we, as part of the backpack solution, don't just provide software. The hardware, we supply the support and the backup and the training and all that stuff. So.
I know you have some terrific training videos. I actually use that to learn how to put together my backpack as well.
So did we answer your question, you think? Yeah,
Well,
okay.
sorry, it's a long way around, but.
Anybody else in the audience? Question right there.
Yes, my name is Jerry Brandt. I'm with the university also. I don't know if he asked you earlier, but does the new AX100 4K work in this environment okay with the attachments and the hookups with the camera? Do you know? We just bought 3 of those AX100s.
So one of the things, and I don't know if it came up on screen, but we're always looking to our customers the concept came from our customers. So we're always looking to our customers to ask us or to suggest something that they'd like to see. And we're not in a position to create one-offs, but if there's if for some reason there seems to be, particularly if you want to buy many of a particular product, we will definitely work with you to create something. And that's on a case-by-case basis. And what makes that more important too is if indeed your concept fits even with the broader marketplace, the chances of it being adopted are much greater. And we're very happy to hear everybody's ideas about what you'd like to see. Can't guarantee that it'll happen, but we're all ears.
But if you think about it, just to continue, you can't just literally plunk out one camera and plunk in another one. We want to absolutely make sure that the whole thing works together. That means the right batteries, the right battery chargers, the right media, the right software, whatever it happens to be, we want to, make this package.
Yeah, and to his point, to summarize it, there actually is engineering involved. It's a fairly simple concept, but the truth is there actually is engineering. We want to make sure that all the bits and pieces work together, otherwise.
But you still need wireless microphones and all that kind of stuff, and a light and a tripod and all that stuff. But there may be different tripods for heavier cameras, lighter tripods for smaller ones, remote control, not remote control. You got the idea.
That's what I appreciate when I got this backpack is I didn't have to worry about anything not working together. Everything fit together very nicely, very well integrated. So I absolutely agree. Anybody else in the audience with a question? Yes.
Hi, my name's. Okay, I'm Casey. I'm from Penn State University. So you were saying that you use these backpacks for smaller television markets and universities. Do you see these backpacks being sold to individual journalists, for
sure.
a production or a smaller size of a backpack per se?
Right now, well, this is actually, believe it or not our smallest size backpack. We actually have one that we developed for K through 12 that has got, basically it's lower cost, it's got less stuff in it. I don't want to get into it specifically. I can answer you later, but it's the VJBK XPRS. So, and that's a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, and as a consequence, a little bit cheaper. I think on the audio side, you might suffer because all those extra components aren't there. So, and there are a bunch of individuals who have bought them, and folks who have stopped by who are individuals who are interested in buying them. So, but the short answer to your question is yes.
Anybody else? I think we have another question down here.
Okay, my name is Alan Waterman. I'm a video journalism trainer with Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. I do master classes with them. I also teach with the BC Institute of Technology, same thing. And I'm wondering if you were looking at going to the other end of the spectrum and upping the professional ante, so to speak, of the backpack, looking at network quality backpacks. I like your RFID system. If you've got multiple journalists using it, can you take this up to the next level?
Well, we can, but I think when you take it up to the next level on a practical basis, the camera is much bigger and much heavier. At that point, it's not really a backpack anymore, and we've actually kind of run into that issue with the version, the PMW 300 version. That's not a backpack anymore. That's a longer case. It's a wheel. It's got a handle, and so the short answer is we can do that. One of the things we found, though, there's in the broadcast business, there's lots of engineers who who have ideas about things, and they created their own kits. So we have thought about it. We've got some ideas percolating in the background, and ultimately we would like to be successful with this concept at this level. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here. And then you're talking about hard cases now, and I think also some of the professionals may be a little bit fussier. So
Definitely.
yeah. So, but if you've got input, we'll be glad to take it.
But
So-
just to finish up, you know, high-end, big market, the question for me many times comes down to codec, what format you're using. And we offer cameras that start in the AVC HD format, but then quickly move into the XD-Cam family, where you can do 50 megabit codec. And that works beautifully with the workflow of many large city TV stations. So if you value the capability of a photographer, journalist, getting out into the field quickly with not a whole truckload of stuff and getting a very high quality image and great sound and all those things, that's great for me. You know.
Yeah, I
if
don't
you-
think we're necessarily talking about going up to a 500 or an 800 level, although we
Right.
have VJs who do use those cameras. But even in the 200, 300 level, just improving some of the quality of what you're putting in here, and so you can look at it as a good network quality.
So when you say network, so you mean maybe professional, a more professional light, let's say, heavier duty?
Exactly.
And well, we can do that. But I think we started off this conversation, we were very price sensitive, right? Because we weren't sure how this was going to work. So we can do that. And I think if we start to see a little bit of interest in that area, I don't know, everything's in a state of flux for us. So we can do that, and I think, you know, obviously there's some interest. So I'd be happy to talk to you more about that.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Excellent. Do we have anything online coming in?
We do. We have
Okay.
several responses on Twitter right now. We have Cheryl is asking us, what is the actual size of the camera offered in the backpacks?
Wow, actual physical size?
Physical side of the NX30 is about this big.
It's that big.
I am never without this camera. It's always in my backpack. It's an awesome
It's in the
little
palm of your
camera.
hand, really.
It sees in the dark the way my eyes see. You can handhold it with a balanced optical steady shot. The thing is so cool. Audio
And small.
interfaces, you don't even have to use the whole high-end audio interface. That can clip off, and then you can just have a, you know, basically consumer style for going out. But it's a beautiful camera. That's small. Then we move into cameras maybe this big and maybe this big, and I'd say that's kind of where
That's
we
about
end
that's
up. We
about
never
as far
get
as
into
gotten,
full
so-
shoulder cam style mode.
Right, there are no, we don't have any backpacks with shoulder cams.
Yeah, I love that
at the moment.
idea of the modular where you can take the audio interface off, depending if you need it, the shotgun mic, everything kind of comes apart.
But again, it's a full audio interface. I have a love for pro audio. Sorry, but the point is that if you can control audio, it becomes your friend. If you can't, it will bite you. So having a full audio interface with individual left channel, right channel controls, and sending a single input to both channels with maybe the second one you can turn it down a little bit so you can, you know, take care of unexpected explosions and overloads and all. Anyway, there's a lot of reasons to
funny
have
how
a full
you-
audio
You
interface.
tend to turn it back to audio all the time.
Isn't that funny?
Is this about video?
It is. It's about everything. It's about both. I like to say, what is video without audio?
Silent movies.
It's a security camera. Really boring, very fast. Turn down your TV, you'll leave the room, I guarantee. So don't forget that audio stuff.
Okay, another question from online.
All right, another question. Speaking of the cameras, are these cameras Wi-Fi capable?
I think in the higher level models, I think the PMW 200
And 300.
and the 300, there's a wireless adapter that's available as an option.
WA100.
There probably is a third-party solution we can put in the kit. You can certainly do Wi-Fi. You can do streaming once you remove the media, and if you have a laptop, depending on your Wi-Fi strength and things like that. We haven't put that together in a package yet, but certainly as a standard Sony option for the 200 and 300 PMW 200, PMW 300 cameras, there's wireless streaming capability.
You have another one?
We do have another
Okay.
one regarding the cameras. Amy is asking to know a little bit more about the battery life of these
Ooh, I love that
cameras.
question.
Oh, okay. But you're going to talk
Battery
about the
life.
NX30 again. your
No, I'm
favorite
not going to
little
talk about the
camera.
NX30. I'm simply going to say that cameras over the last several years have sort of migrated from CCD imagers to CMOS imagers. And just by the nature of the way those individual type imager chips are made, CMOS imagers use far less power and they create far less heat. So you can put bigger imagers in smaller cameras. But because they use less power, guess what? You get much longer battery life. So again, I'm sorry, on the NX30, I routinely can get 6-7 hours. I don't think about it. And the camera has 96 gigs of internal memory, so you can just keep shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting.
And on the larger cameras, there's similar kind of, they use obviously more power. Some of the cameras have there are 3 sensors, 3 1/3 inch sensors, or depending on the camera, 3 1/2 inch sensors. So the battery life is a little bit less, but one of the things we've included in the kit are spare batteries. So you should always be able to have a battery on hand to switch off when you start to run out. And we've got dual battery chargers as well, which we've included with the kit. So the idea is to continue to provide continuity. I think, to be honest, I mean, if our questioner is willing to wait, we can provide a more specific detail about the battery life on each of the cameras.
And the questions keep on coming from online. I think you got another one, right?
Okay.
That's right. So Jen is asking us, how is the low light aspect and how using the equipment fares in a high exposure environment like?
I'm happy to answer that one.
There you go.
Pardon me if I go a little bit into tech dweeb mode here, but imager technology over the last several years has improved so dramatically. And I'm proud to say that we at Sony are the world's largest imager manufacturer. We make over about 30 million imagers per month. They go into a lot of the cell phones that everybody uses, and certainly into all of our cameras and things like that. But we constantly improve our imager technology because we believe that once light comes through a lens and hits an imager, if you don't capture all the detail and the fine resolution, you cannot make up for it. You can't make it up in post. You've got to get it at the imager. One of the things that we've been able to do in our imager technology is not only increase resolution, but we also want to decrease noise and low light sensitivity. And those two things many times interplay. You know, cameras have built-in gain circuits that are automatic and they crank up, but if they crank up noise with your intended image, you don't want to use it. So we always find ways to reduce the noise as much as possible. And especially for smaller imagers, we have found a technology called XMOR-R, where our larger imagers are XMOR. And I'm not going to go into a whole thing, but they are tremendously sensitive and exceptionally low noise imager chips. So you can crank the gain a lot and hardly see any noise. So I say, you know, many of these cameras, you point them into a dark area and they kind of see like your eye sees. And I'm constantly impressed by that.
Just to expound on that just a little bit, I think kind of a general answer also is that if you have a 1/3 inch single imager camera, the light sensitivity will be less than the 3-chip 1/2 inch imager with the larger lens. So that's.
I don't know that I would agree with you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because especially the way we realize that with a very small imager now, we don't have the benefit of the larger chip and bigger pixels, but we've developed this XMOR-R technology without going into a lot of detail, takes all the circuitry that's on every single pixel and buries the circuitry in the substrate of the pixel, so the entire surface of the pixel is now photosensitive, and its whole job is collect photons, give me photons. As opposed to another larger chip and a larger pixel, which might have a portion of the surface area of that pixel reserved for circuitry, amplifier, reset circuit, all the things getting ready for the next frame or field of video capture. So the smaller chips have incredibly good low light sensitivity. But yes, as you get a larger imager and larger pixels, you're also. So we excel at all sizes, I'm happy to say. It's really exciting. It opens up creative
kind of my
possibilities. Exactly.
What he said.
But most people don't want to hear about all that pixel stuff because it gets a little difficult. I think it's fascinating, but anyway.
The questions keep on. You guys are generating a lot of engagement online. The questions keep on coming online. We got another one.
That's right. We have one more from Zarina. She's asking, will the user be able to integrate this backpack with Sony's CI platform?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Oh yeah. That's actually a very
Great
good
question.
question. So, for those of you who don't know, it's Media Cloud Services, C, capital C, small I. It's an interactive, collaborative workspace in the cloud. We're leveraging that. It's used professionally and semi-professionally. It's a place you can put your content. It's a place you can do. You can share your content with others. You can work collaboratively, and you can comment and share those comments with your crew, whoever it is, geographically dispersed. The short answer is yes.
Yeah, and speaking of C, our show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific is all about C. So great segue there.
Come back.
Absolutely. Any questions in the audience? Anything left online before we wrap it up? Want to give you guys one last shot at anything we forgot to mention. Anything you want to add?
I think we've done a pretty good job of covering it. Outside of, I can rattle off some model numbers to you if you like, but I think you'd probably do better reading them online at sony.com/professional. And actually, one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to ask folks for your input. We're all about, we are the solutions group, although actually now I think we're called, we're called Solutions Development and Integration. And we're interested in your input and the kinds of things you'd like to see out there. By the way, don't expect that they'll all come true, but if it makes sense for us and there's demand in the marketplace, we can put it together for you.
I would add one thing. I just want everybody here and out there to know that we have a professional video website called Videon, sony.com/Videon. Think of video on and get rid of one of the O's, Videon. And it's our video portal for professional use. And so we've got hundreds and hundreds of videos there. We even have roughly 30 to 40 videos that we'll be capturing here on the show floor. So if you're not lucky enough to be here at the NAB show, there are already a bunch of videos posted online at sony.com/Videon. Also our website on YouTube and Vimeo that you can go see what's happening at each of these booths. But on that website are several collections, and one of the collections you can drill down to is called Journalist Backpack. And if you go there, you will see many videos that talk about this concept, setup, unboxing, this is the workflow, this is basic editing, all those resources that should help the non-professional see how they can learn to make their own video. And it's very useful. We also have a series of videos on there called Shoot Like a Pro that are not specifically Journalist Backpack oriented, but they are videos on basic camera technique, how to set up interviews, how to deal with audio, even multi-camera kind of shooting and things like that. So they're very, very useful, very fun to watch, easily digestible, and so I urge you to go check it out, sony.com/Videon.
Good call, good call.
Excellent. Well, this has been a very fast half hour. I want to thank Andy and
John.
Pete for being our guest today. I just want to remind everybody.
Great guitarist,
Yes,
singer.
where's your guitar?
Yeah, I'm a legend in my own mind.
There
yes.
you go. I want to remind everybody to join us again tomorrow, Wednesday, at 10 a.m. Pacific for another session about C and another show at 4 p.m. as well. Thanks everyone here. Thanks everyone online. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.